Howdy, Chris here. We're back in the garage. Today we're working on this Ford F-150, and we've got a pretty severe dent we're going to be repairing today. So this bedside is actually hitting the tailgate. We need to correct that. We need to pull out this dent, repair it with some body filler, and repaint this quarter panel. We'll definitely share with you how to pull this dent out and how to straighten it with using body filler. So you can see how far it's pushed over right here. All that, when we pull this out, all this should come back this way. We're going to make it come back this way. Make sure that's straightened out so we have a nice gap in between our tailgate and our bedside.
I went ahead and welded some metal tabs on this dent. We pulled it out with the frame tower. If you're a hobbyist doing this at home, you may not have a bunch of specialty tools to pull out this dent. You may need to get a little creative to push or pull this dent out. I'm using a tool here called the Champ Pro Spot, where it welds on a tip and then you use leverage to pull out these low areas.
All right, so let me tell you where we're at on this. We did some pulling with the tower. Pierce is going to cut that off now, and we are going to grind this area here because we've got some dents in here that we need to remove. This right here is still a little bit in, so we're going to get that pulled out a little bit. It's a little bit flat there. Almost ready to get it prepped out for some filler. So we'll get that ready, and then we're going to check the gap on the tailgate.
So we got this dent pretty much pulled out. What we want to do now is just really refine this dent. We've got some low spots, we've got some high spots where we pulled it out too far. We're going to tap those down, and we're going to use a special tool to pull out those little low spots, kind of just flatten it all out. Now we want to leave this in just a little bit so we have some room to apply our filler. That way we can use the body filler to fill all those low areas, block it down, and get this as straight as possible. Because really what you want to avoid is having high spots and then filling over top of that and then blocking down to a high spot. Then you got to tap it down. It's much easier, especially if you're a beginner, to leave that metal in just a little bit so you can allow your body filler to do the work.
We're applying our body filler here. Sorry, my camera wasn't running. We want to press it in, but we're just filling those low areas. You press it in on the first coat, but now after I'm spreading over this, all I want to do is I want easy pressure so I can allow that filler to fill those low areas. Now, I was just saying, we have a body line that runs right through here and a little ledge. So we're going to have to create that. We'll do that on the next pass, but right now this pass is just to fill the major low areas, and then we're going to rough it in, and we'll use the second coat of filler to straighten the pan, to actually straighten the panel. I'm going to let it cure, and then we'll rasp it off. I'll show you what we're going to do. This right here is a half round body filler rasp. Okay, it's got these coarse teeth, and basically when this stuff starts to harden up, it's not there yet, but when it's still tacky but it's firmed up, we're going to shave it with this. This is going to help knock that down quickly. It's going to create very little dust. It's going to be perfect in this situation to use this rasp, but we got to let this harden up a little bit. So I'm going to go against the teeth, and we're just going to shave. Yeah, still a little bit. See how it's rolling up? See how it's kind of rolling up? It's not cutting it. It's not quite hard enough yet. Still a little bit tacky. It's firm, but it's still a little bit tacky. It's just a little bit, just a tad too fresh. See how it shaves it up? I'm just barely going over it right now because if you get it a little too early, it'll gum up this rasp. You won't be able to use it as well. I want it a little bit firmer than this actually. But see how it does this? It doesn't create all that dust, and you shave it down quickly. Especially all these ridges, you know, from the spreader. So you got to catch it at the right time. And you just go at an angle with it. This is about where you want it right here. You see how easy this shaves off. You still got to press a little hard. Shaves off nice and easy. Notice how I'm kind of going from the top to the bottom. I want to go over a large area. I don't want to just kind of do it in one section. Of course, I have a ridge here, so I'm working this ridge out. This is going to be flat here. So I'm kind of flattening this section out for where this body line is. I know I'm not shaving too much off because I'm not hitting metal yet. See how I went through starting to hit bare metal there? So I want to stop there. All right, I'm going to leave it right there because we're going to sand this out, block sand it, but there you go. That's how you're going to use a Bondo rasp, and it works really well in these situations. All right, so while this is still kind of fresh, I did tap this high spot down a little bit, 80 grit on this medium-sized block, and we're going to block this flat area here. While this is still kind of fresh, it's a little soft. It's not completely cured yet. And we're going to have some high spots pop up, I'm sure, because we're going to have to go with filler out into here. I'm going to tell you, this is probably a couple little high spots here, but this is still a little high here. I can see in the light, we've got a ridge right here. Remember, I said we're just filling the low spots, so we don't care if we're hitting metal here, because we are just filling these low crevices in between our high metal. We are going to tap down some of the high metal here.
For this corner, I'm going to use 80 grit on this orbital sander with the interface pad just to shape this corner. We just want to smooth it out so we can lay another coat of filler over it, and then we can block sand it straight. Okay, I went ahead and laid another coat of body filler on it. We've got 80 grit sandpaper on this medium block, and I'm just blocking this front section down to that body line, and then we'll do that contour in the back section separately. The reason I'm doing this front section is because that's a flat section. I can hold my block flat against the panel, block it in a X or a crosshatch pattern down to the body line, get that straight, and then move on to the next section. See how that's smoothed out into there? A little bit of a low spot here, little low spot there, that'll block out. Again, I'm going to use my orbital sander with some 80 grit sandpaper on it just to smooth out this corner. It's going to be a lot easier to block it after it's smooth. We can still get it straight, but we're just going to shape it with the orbital sander and the 80 grit.
All right, we're going to create the body line here, around here. I'm going to run a piece of tape right here on that body line.
I'm just using this tape as a guide to recreate that body line. Now we can block up to that tape without affecting the peak of that body line. So we're just cleaning up all the edges. We'll get this flattened out. We may have to put a little bit more filler in here to get it perfectly straight. We've still got some low areas that we're going to need to fill, but now I've got this kind of unique block. It's soft on one side and then it's hard on the opposite side. It's a hook and loop block, so I can use hook and loop paper for it, but I'll use the soft side of this block with 80 grit sandpaper to get that curve around the corner of this bedside straight. Okay, so I need a little bit more body filler to fill some of these low areas. So I've got some body filler here with some hardener. This mixes up 2% hardener to body filler, and you don't want to stir it in. You want to either fold it in. I'm pressing it in here so we can eliminate any air pockets. You want it to be all one uniform color. If you get a streak in it and you leave streaks in it, that's when that body filler is going to fail down the road on you. So here I'm just applying a thin coat of filler for this transition from the body filler to the existing paint. We want a nice smooth transition. There's just a little bit of a low area in there. So I'm putting a little filler in there so we can block that out and get a nice transition there. There is a couple other little spots I'll be filling, just some imperfections in the body filler and a little low area. So we'll be correcting those with this filler that we have here.
Now we'll block over this filler with 80. And then we'll quickly go to 180, sand the rest of this. We'll start getting it prepped out and those scratches refined for primer. All right, we're switching to 180 now. Refine those scratches. All right, we're gonna sand around the edges with 320.
The goal is to remove all those 80 and 180 grit scratches that we might have missed so we can get this ready for a coat of primer. Now I'm going to mix up some glazing putty. This is USC icing. It's just a thinner primer, and what this is going to do, it's going to fill any deep scratches that I missed. If we have any little waves in the panel or pinholes, this will fill it. We'll be able to block this off. The sand's really easy, so we're going to put a coat over the entire repair. We'll block sand it off, and then we should be ready for some primer. Once I get this glazing putty all spread out, I'm going to pull the tape, and then we're going to let it flash off, or we're going to let it cure for about 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to block sand it starting with 180 grit sandpaper, just kind of rough it in, get it smoothed out, and then we'll block it with 320, and we should be ready for some primer. Let's go ahead and mix up some primer. The primer we're using today is the U-Pol 2253. It's a high build urethane primer.
Mixes up 4-to-1. We don't need a ton of it, so we'll just mix up probably 2 parts there. We're going to use it as a surfacer, so we're going to put 1 part urethane reducer in it as well. We'll use the R500, which is our primary gun. It's got a 1.7 tip in it.
The gun settings for primer are 2.5 turns out on your fluid volume. We'll turn it all the way in, turn it 2.5 turns out. Our fan is wide open, and our air pressure is set at about 15 to 20 psi. We do want to keep this air pressure low because we don't want a ton of overspray, and as you can see, this gun sprays fine at low pressures. When you're applying your primer, you want to spray just like you're spraying base coat. You want to have a consistent speed, a consistent distance from the panel, and overlap your passes about 80%. You're looking for a nice flat finish when you apply your primer. And if you're looking for information about primers, different types of primers, when you should use them and when you shouldn't for your project, I've got a digital guide that you can pick up at GarageNoiseGear.com. It'll go through all those different types of primers, what to expect, and in what situation you should use them. So we let that first coat of primer flash off for 10 to 15 minutes. You want those chemicals to start to evaporate before you put another coat of primer on it. And typically you only need 2 coats of 2K urethane primer. The main thing is just to have enough material on the repair area so you can block sand it out straight. In the next episode, we're going to block this out. I'm going to share with you how to prepare this primer for paint, and Darius is going to paint this bedside, and we'll walk you through the entire process step by step. Listen, I hope you found all this information helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Garage Noise.